the process of getting in to all these different schools was difficult because we were stranded. We were left. So to dive right in, I went to an arts boarding school. I lived there. I practiced my artistry and my craft as an actor in drama and theater. And pandemic hit, March of 2020. We had to come home, be at home, as the whole world did, as all of this country did. And we were at home, and it started getting worse and worse. We had to stay at home, and we couldn't go to school and live on campus, something we were so used to for such a while. And closer to the end of the summer months, we found out that one of our leading guidance counselors at our school was going to be leaving. So we didn't have anyone at that point to help guide us towards college, because we were now seniors, and we didn't feel the transition of going from being a junior to being a senior. And that transition was very difficult for a lot of people. And so me being a first generation college student, being Black and not knowing what is going on, what I'm doing, I had to make a real decision for myself. Do I go into acting with this beautiful fascination of this amazing craft, or do I go into playwriting and directing, something I've been doing my entire life? And what did I want to do? And I could have chosen either one. However, I really wanted to go into playwriting and directing because it's something I think about all the time. And so I chose that, and I chose six schools that were going to offer me what I wanted, especially on this side of the country. I did not want to go to Washington or LA or Texas. I didn't want to go that far. I wanted to stay on this side of the country, because the other side of the country is just, I did not want to have to deal with all that. So I had to make a list. I had to decide, where did I want to go? What did I want? What type of stores did I want around me? Do I want to be in a city or a place where there's really no one else around besides that school? Who do I want to be around? What type of, what's the intensity, the maximum intensity I want to be pushed? And what am I going to get out of this program at the end? I applied to six schools, 5 of which were amazing programs. I learned later that the 6th one, I'm glad I didn't. I got accepted into 5 out of the 6 universities. I'm glad I didn't get accepted into the 6th one. And the process for me was confusing. I had to fill out my FAFSA. It was just me and my mother. We didn't know what we were doing. We had to contact people, figure out what was going on. I had to do my Common App, which was also confusing. However, a lot of people were very, very confused because we were stranded almost. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if college was going to even be an option or whatever was happening in the world. And then we didn't have to submit ACT scores or SAT scores. So that broadened the horizon for what we could do. And the process of auditioning and interviewing was probably the easiest part for me, because the difficult part was leading up to that, the application, the FAFSA, the Common App, making sure you have all your information in, then setting up the interview. I had a Zoom interview with 2 universities. Every other university, you sent in your application, especially because I was going into playwriting, you send in some of your work, etc. I had an interview for 2 universities, DePaul and University of the Arts in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As my African dance teacher says, and as I try to always say at the end of these videos, she always tells us all to never underestimate the power of our presence, because our presence is a present. And the world is going to hate me for me. I don't have to do that part of the job. They're going to take care of that. That's their job. The world's going to hate me for me. So why should I hate me for me? I should love me for me and embrace me for me. Figuring out everything was difficult. And however, walking into those, or sitting in here with my ring light, with my phone, my laptop, and having an hour-long conversation with these people who interviewed me, the process wasn't nerve-wracking because I fully stepped into who I was. It was a reverse interview. I was interviewing them in that moment. And those are the things you have to be able to You have to be willing to do that. Our biggest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we're powerful beyond our own means, However, we deserve to step into our own power and our own presence. And so I wasn't afraid of that. I was okay with fully walking in to a room where I use beautiful poetic language and fully being me. I was okay with talking for too long and telling these long, elaborate stories, because if I fully stepped into who I was, there was no doubt that they would love me for me, and they would love me for the things that I wanted to bring to the university. It was asking questions I actually wanted to know. It was smiling because I was actually happy. Truly diving into that experience, because you don't know if you're ever going to hear back from them again. So you have to be able to fully be present, fully bring yourself to that. And how do you do that? It's grounding yourself in the things you know you are. And it's truly believing in who you are. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Start off with your name. You are so-and-so, from where, blank, who wants to do what in their life, for what reason. And you start there and you recognize, I have a purpose. Why would you be here if you didn't have a purpose? Even if it's to change one person's life and not a million. That one person will take what you just gave them and change 10. And that 10 will change 1,000. And that 1,000 will change 10 million. It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect that goes on for ages and ages and ages. So starting off in that interview and that audition, coming out of that, it was a waiting game. It was a waiting game. It was me still figuring out FAFSA stuff. It was still figuring out other competitions that I was applying to, this, that, and the third, making sure every school had all my information, and then hearing back from them, making sure that everything in that was where it was supposed to be, and that it would help me to the maximum that it could to benefit me the most. Looking at how I did it, what I actually did. I think my strongest advice and my strongest moments were in my writing, when I make it stand out from everyone else's. And I make it stand out from everyone else's by not ignoring who I am. Too many people, especially in this process, try and go beyond who they are to meet a certain standard, and that standard is bland. It's the same thing everyone else is going to do. If you're going to use elaborate language, let it come from the heart. If you're going to tell a true story about something horrible that happened in your life and how you fought back through it, let it come from the heart and the soul. If you're going to bring up this wild, crazy experience that you had in your life, let it come from the heart, root it up through your soul, and let it come out. Let your words flow, and don't apologize. Don't apologize for anything. That is another big thing our generation has a problem with. We apologize for everything. Every little thing that we do, we apologize for it. Oh, I'm so sorry for talking too much. Oh, I'm so sorry for stop. No, stop apologizing. You have nothing to apologize for. It's all about, you can beat the system by not gathering up more than what you need. You know? And you see where I'm going. I'm going to DePaul University. And I got to this point by recognizing how much I'm worth, recognizing the talents I have on display, recognizing where I want to go in my life, and recognizing what can get me there. DePaul can get me there. What I want in my life is to direct, to act, to perform, to write, to express my emotion, my creativity to the world by changing it bit by bit by bit by bit, and recognizing my worth. What am I worth? How much money can this school reasonably give me that isn't too much, however is just enough to make sure I can make it through? That comes in everything, from the first time you apply to the first time they ask, what's your first name and last name? When you put your name down, you're already making a statement. When they ask for your address, you're making a statement. So with everything you do in this process, do it with pride. Do you understand? Do it with pride. Do it with love, right? Do it with a desire and need to change the world in mind. This is the start to my journey, so that 10 years down the line, blank will happen. Too many people, it takes them to get 35 to realize what they're worth. I'm 18. And there's a difference between cockiness, arrogance, and presence. Stepping into your presence, stepping into who you are, and realizing I am a ruler, I am a monarch, I am beautiful. I truly believe I am this thing. Because if I wasn't, why else would I be here? Why else would I be here? And it's stepping into the 7 dimensions of wellness: physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, social, and occupational. Making those the way you live and flow throughout your life. That will help you to get to where you want to. I'm trying to teach these lessons because you should never underestimate the power of your presence. Because the college system will do that for you. However, they should never forget, and you should never forget, as my African dance teacher said, your presence is a present. Thank you.